Welcome into the LPSN Sports Show. I'm Danny, and beside me is the head dog, top dog, head coach, Kevin Bernithi. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good to be here.
So first things first, the last week we didn't do a show. We had a short week. You had plenty else to do. So we're going to kind of recap two games. And in those two games, the Dogs have outscored their opponents 9-3-17, plus 78. That's about as good as you could get. Where's this offensive surge coming from?
It's just understanding what their assignments are, execution, being able to actually watch a team and get, an effective game plan of seeing a couple weeks of the other team playing. And it's just the growth of our team. We expect to grow every day, and we expect to grow every week. So, that's what we expect to see.
Yeah, and we were talking before we came on, and that's definitely what you're seeing. Each week has been incrementally better, and they picked up where they left off last year, so it was great to see. Let's see here. The offensive line, we spoke about them as well, and just their effectiveness. Obviously, they don't show up on the stat sheet. They're the uncelebrated heroes, but what can you say about your guys in the trenches?
They're doing a great job. We have three guys on the offensive line that started last year. The two other guys that are playing, one's a sophomore that has played in the offense for a year, and the other's a senior that was a backup last year. They got some time playing. He did change position, but he's a smart kid, and he worked hard in the off season and showed up all summer, and he's seeing the benefit of his work. And then as far as the tight end position, we have a young man that's a freshman that stepped up tremendously, and and he's doing a really good job for us at the tight end. So it's just a lot of guys going to work every day and understanding what their assignments are and doing them really fast.
Yeah, and you've also had the opportunity to get a lot of players into the game, especially last week. I don't know that there was anyone that didn't get to play unless they were injured. Everybody got on the field, so it was great to see. Kind of talk about the selflessness. We were talking about this also off the air, that the running backs specifically, they seem so selfless in terms of one guy's making a touchdown off the other guy's block, and then they flip the script and the other guy's doing it. Can you speak a little bit about the selflessness of everybody?
Right, I think that's what we build our brand off of. We're one team, one heartbeat. We're all on the same page. We're all trying to move the same direction, and we all care about each other. And when you have teammates that care about each other, it's not necessarily them worrying about what they do, but what the team does and doing their job in order to help their teammates succeed. And, we in film, just talking about like running backs, I get on them if they don't block for each other, because I'll tell them, well, you want him to block for you, right?
Right.
And I think they take that as a badge of honor, like, hey, I'm going to help my buddy out, and he's going to help me out. So I just think they care about each other, and they care about each other's success. And when you have a team that does that, then you have a successful team.
Couldn't agree with you more, Coach. That's the epitome of what you want to see out there. As a fan, it definitely makes you proud to see. Injuries? How are we looking on injuries right now?
As of right now, we're pretty healthy.
Well, let's knock on something. Okay, so let's get in this Baytown Lee game. It's coming up now. Before the season, I don't know. I definitely know, Coach, every game's important. I hear you. But I think that this is taking on more importance based off Baytown Lee's success, our success. This weekend you also have the other Big Four squads playing each other. Barbers Hill is taking on Crosby, and Port Arthur's taking off Porter. So the Baytown Lee LaPorte game is important in that playoff picture. Can you speak to, is that any kind of distraction or anything for the team?
We take it one game at a week. This game came down to the very end last year. Our kids know that. They know that Baytown Lee plays hard, and they're athletic, and they're well coached. So we're just looking at Baytown Lee, and we talk about every game's the most important game. So this week's Baytown Lee's the most important game. So I think that the first time we went to Barbers Hill and played as a home team, we were just kind of like figuring out where we're supposed to be. Being that this is the second time we've done it, I think that distraction will leave, and hopefully we're able to start off a little.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, how much of a distraction you felt like you played in your first game. I know we had trouble in the broadcast booth, but how was it for the players, everybody?
I just think it's just like going to an away game and trying to find out where certain things are that you're used to.
Right.
Like, where am I going to sit in this locker? Where are the restrooms? Where do I go get taped? Where do I go?
Stuff you take for granted.
And now they're going to know, like,
right.
More like a home type deal of, knowing the routine.
Well, if that's the outcome we had of a team that was a little uncomfortable, I'm excited to see what they're going to play like when they're comfortable. Now, let's talk about Baytown Lee. What's different about them this year? I know they've got several players going both ways.
Yeah, that's kind of the way they were last year. They have 9 offensive starters back. They have 9 defensive starters back. They look exactly like they did last year. They played Crosby tough last year as well. Crosby scored a couple of touchdowns at the end to pull away. In the game this past week, Baytown Lee actually got an onside kick and stole a possession away and was able to use that as a way to, win the game. So I think they're a tough team. They're a good team. I mean, if you remember last year, they're the only team in our district that beat Port Arthur.
Right.
So that's one thing about our district is you better come to play every week or everybody can beat everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, they have some very athletic on the defensive side of the ball specifically. They've got some guys with high motors that move. What's our strategic plan going into these guys, how to neutralize them?
Yeah, well, it's just typically be us, a physical football team. I tell the kids all the time that nobody likes to do it up down. So anytime you can put a defender on the ground, he's got to get off the ground. That's equivalent to an up down. Number 1 and number 9, they've been 3-year starters at linebacker for them. They're good players. Number 8 comes off the edge. They like to blitz him off the edge, and he packs a punch. So it's just execute, play physical, play fast, and know what we're doing.
So Bulldog football through and through. Well, so last week, my brilliant daughter had the idea. She saw this at College Station and said, hey, let's do this for Coach Benito. Let's get to know him. So we had the viewers kind of submit some questions. Right. We're going to do some rapid fire, but we're going to start with an easy one. So the first one is, if there wasn't football, what would Coach Benito be doing?
Oh, goodness. That's a good question. If there wasn't football, football has given me everything I've ever had in my life. My dad was a coach. He sent me to college. He helped me graduate high school. Mm-hmm. He got me my first job. He got me to this point. So that is definitely a good question. If it wasn't for football, what would I be doing? Is there anything else going on in this? Probably something helping people. I like helping people. Some kind of profession where I can continue to help people grow and be impactful on the community that they live in.
I can see that. That's not a stretch. So what's on your iTunes?
It matters on the day.
What's our game tune? Let's do our game day. What do we listen to on game day?
On game day, I'm more calm, so probably it's more Pandora, maybe like Brooks and Dunn Pandora.
Okay.
And then maybe 2000s hip-hop Pandora in the afternoon.
Can't go wrong with that. Get you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I grew up on. So.
I got you. There you go, Coach. So are you a 4th of July or Christmas guy?
Christmas.
Okay. And favorite candy?
Snickers.
Snickers. Gel or hairspray?
No hair.
Just kidding. I want to talk real quick. We're going to close it out with this one, and I think it's important. So throughout the broadcast, we really talk about the life lessons we've taken from athletics when we were athletes here, and then in how to apply them in the real world, and we see it every day. And one that was instilled in our home was really about work ethic, and our father worked his tail off and taught us that. But sports is the epitome of establishing a work ethic. And there's no better example than coaches.
Right.
Can you kind of walk us through, if you will, just tell us what your week looks like? I know you've got a packed schedule.
So can we start when the game ends?
Start when the game ends.
So the game ends Friday night. Of course, we got to come back here. We got to get the laundry together, get the kids out of the building. Usually get home around midnight. I would assume maybe between 11:30 and midnight. After the game. Mm-hmm. Then the next morning, we're up here at 7:30 in the morning, and then we work till probably about 2. And that's grading the previous night's game, which most of us already watched, on our phone, probably laying in bed the night before. Then the kids come up here, they lift, then they watch special teams as a team, because that's everybody, offense and defense combined. And then we'll go and we'll split off offense and defense, and they'll watch their position with their position coach. And that's done at noon. All the kids need to be out here by noon. That's what I promised them. And then the coaches will start watching our next opponent just to kind of get a gauge of what they look like. And we'll probably do that to about 1:30, maybe 2, depending on the time of the year. And then on Sunday, offensive coaches, we come up at 10. The defensive coaches come up at 9. But I tell the offensive defensive coaches, whatever time works best, we're just going to have a staff meeting at 1, and if we're done at 1, planning for the new week, then we're done. If not, we go until we're done. So usually it's about 2:30 or 3 o'clock on Sunday. And then, of course, Monday you have school, we're here for school, and then we practice all the way till 6. Tuesday's the same, Wednesday's the same. Thursday we have sub-varsity games, so that's usually going on till about 9
And it's the same coaches for the JV.
Same coaches, so they're usually here till about 8:30, 9 o'clock on Thursday. Then Friday is back on game night where they're probably not getting home till midnight. So.
And the whole cycle starts again.
Yeah, so we did actually get a Saturday this week because we played on Thursday, so we did our Saturday work on Friday. So, that is the perk of maybe playing on Thursday, but, we don't have any more Thursdays, so we're here, pretty much every day.
And we appreciate it, and the kids appreciate it. The community appreciates it. We're real proud of the team so far. I know y'all will give Baytown Lee hell, so we're looking forward to that. So you're watching the Coaches Show here on LPSN, and we will see you next week. Go Dogs.